A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant move impacting trade relations, the United States has announced a suspension of live cattle imports from Mexico for a period of 15 days. This decision, made by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, aims to reassess the joint strategy in combating the screwworm, a dangerous parasite that poses a serious threat to livestock and potentially to human health. The announcement was made by U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins, who emphasized the urgency of the situation, highlighting recent detections of the screwworm in areas alarmingly close to the U.S. border. The screwworm, scientifically known as Cochleomia hominivirax, is a larva that can invade the tissues of warm-blooded animals, including humans. This parasite causes severe lesions and can lead to fatal outcomes if not addressed promptly. The situation has escalated to the point where Mexico's health ministry issued an epidemiological alert after confirming the first human case of screwworm myiasis in a 77-year-old woman in Chiapas earlier this month. In a statement, Secretary Rollins expressed the critical nature of protecting the nation's food supply, stating, "The protection of our animals and safety of our nation's food supply is a national security issue of the utmost importance." She reassured that once enhanced surveillance and eradication efforts yield positive results, the U.S. remains committed to resuming livestock trade with Mexico. However, this suspension has not been well received in Mexico. Agriculture Secretary Julio Berdeg took to social media to voice his disagreement with the measure, stating, "We don't agree with this measure, but we're confident we'll reach an agreement sooner rather than later." Berdeg's comments reflect a desire for collaboration between the two nations in addressing the screwworm threat. The U.S. had previously restricted Mexican cattle shipments in late November after the screwworm was detected, but lifted the ban in February following the implementation of new protocols for evaluating cattle before they enter the U.S. However, the recent detection of the pest's northward spread has prompted renewed action. The USDA noted that the screwworm has advanced northward through Central America and into Mexico, necessitating additional measures to curb its progression. The economic implications of this suspension are significant for both countries, as cattle trade is a vital component of their agricultural sectors. The USDA acknowledged that there has been an economic impact due to the suspension, but emphasized that the health and safety of livestock must take precedence. As the situation develops, both nations are expected to engage in discussions to find a resolution that addresses the screwworm threat while also considering the economic ramifications of the trade suspension. With agriculture being a cornerstone of both the U.S. and Mexican economies, the outcome of these negotiations will be closely monitored by stakeholders on both sides of the border. In conclusion, the suspension of live cattle imports from Mexico is a precautionary measure aimed at safeguarding the agricultural integrity of the United States. As both countries work together to combat this pressing issue, the hope remains that a swift resolution can be found to restore normal trade relations while ensuring the safety of livestock and the public. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.